What a day yesterday for Clayton Richard as he flirted with history for the San Diego Padres, trying to no-hit the Miami Marlins. Came up short, but a near no-hitter gave the Padres their fourth consecutive series win as the Padres took 2 out of 3 from the Miami Marlins and a victory yesterday. And great success for Clayton Richard and the Padres so far. We welcome you to St. Louis, where the crowd makes their way in here to Busch Stadium on a warm night tonight. It's the San Diego Padres and the St. Louis Cardinals in Game 1 of a 3-game series. Eric Hosmer getting ready for this series as he limbers up since May the 1st, hitting at .293 with 6 homers and 26 runs batted in during that time. He has been outstanding. On the other side for the St. Louis Cardinals, Jose Martinez, their first baseman, also since May 1st, a .331 average with 6 homers and 22 runs batted in. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres Baseball as we welcome you inside Busch Stadium for Game 1 of the series. Well, a great win yesterday for the Padres. Clayton Richard flirting with a no-no, and the defense behind him was spectacular.
When you have a ground ball pitcher like Clayton Richard, defense better come into play, and they did just that. You know the old adage in baseball, strong up the middle? Watch Manuel Margot as he goes back and times this one perfectly. Wall kind of creeping up, a nice two-handed grab to take away extra bases, and then up the middle again, Freddie Galvis. To his right, to his left, he always shines, throwing from his knees. From shortstop, it's nice to have Eric Hosmer over there at first base to pick all the balls in the dirt. Christian Villanueva going to his left and blowing a bubble at the same time. The great defense. So that's got to carry over. The good pitching, which is always good for the Padres. They have good defense because they're always putting the ball in play. It's nice to see them flash the leather.
Now the Padres playing the Cardinals for the second time this year. The Cardinals are third in the National League Central, and they're 3 games back and primarily doing it with pitching.
Starting pitching tells the whole story for the Redbirds. When you look at the numbers, .306 ERA, they're second in the National League. Martinez, homegrown. Michaelis went to Japan. Now he's back throwing strikes. Waka, homegrown. Weaver and Flaherty, homegrown. Here's the common thread. These guys throw strikes. They pound the zone. They've got 6th most walks in the National League, but it's all in the bullpen. The bullpen's another story. We'll talk about that. But these guys throw good quality strikes, and they are young, and they're throwing to a Gold Glover. And this
Glad
guy,
to have Yadier Molina back.
Tell you what, he missed 26 games. He's still driving in runs, but this guy is the catalyst behind home plate. He's a leader. He's a coach. He really knows how to handle this young pitching staff, and he puts up the numbers to prove it.
Well, coming up, Mike and Mark on the other side of the studio take a look at Pick the Stick and the Picks. Who will pick Eric Hosmer? We'll find out next. Studio will be with you on the other side. Jack in the Box. Try the $4.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club Combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box. By Petco, the pet company. By Sequan Casino, opening in 2019 is Sequan's brand new 300-room resort and hotel. And by Nissan, it's time to upgrade. Save big at the Nissan Tech for All sales event. Shop ChooseNissan.com. We welcome you back to St. Louis. We get ready for game one of the three-game series. But before we get it started, let's send it down to the field and Bob Scanlon.
Well, thank you, Don. One of the interesting stories for the Padres this year has been Andy Green's use of his closer, Brad Hand, in non-save situations. Now, so far it's worked out brilliantly, but there's another side to this narrative that's been largely overshadowed, and that's having somebody else that can come in and get those final 3 outs. Look, any player will tell you there's nothing more heartbreaking than losing a ball game in the 9th inning. Fortunately, Andy's had some options of late. It's been Kirby Yates. He's been absolutely outstanding, appearing in 26 games. 7 times he's finished it out, and 2 of his last 4 outings have been for the save. So does it matter to him whether he comes in the 7th with runners on base or in the 9th for those final 3? Here's what Kirby had to say.
Biggest outs you get in the game aren't always the 9th inning. You know, a lot of baseball games are won in the 6th, 7th inning when you get in jams and guys go in, have to, you know, get us out of innings and clean up some innings and keep us in the ball game. You know, I think those situations are very important. You know, at some point you grow up and realize it's not that big of a deal. It's still 3 outs. You're still focused on the batter, and you still have to execute pitches. Doesn't matter if it's 7th, 8th, or 9th inning. I'm not going out there trying to give up runs in the 7th inning, you know. So it's just one pitch at a time and just keep focusing on batter and executing pitches.
Kirby's been outstanding, and he acknowledged, look, the 74 saves that he had in the minor leagues and his experience now in the big leagues have certainly helped him get this job done. Well, is a win in the cards for Jordan Lyles? We'll wait and see. Hopefully the Padres can give him some run support. Looking for win number 3 as a Padre. Padres, Cardinals, coming up next right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
That is strike 3.
Oh my, what a play. Looking up, and that is a grand slam.
And the Padres are walking off tonight in 13 innings. Now the Padres and the Cardinals from warm St. Louis, and it's time now for the weather report brought to you by your always sunny Honda dealers of San Diego County. Temperature 90 degrees, southwest breeze at 8 miles per hour. The forecast cloudy for the remainder of the night as Don Orsillo, Mark Grant, and Bob Scanlon Bob Scanlon bring you game one of a 3-game series between the Padres and the Cardinals. Well, tonight we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run in this game raises money for prostate cancer research. Since June 1st, $410,000 have been raised in the challenge. You can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org. Well, the Padres, after taking 2 out of 3 from the Miami Marlins, now here in St. Louis, and we check out the Padres lineup brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. Travis Jankowski leading it off and in center field. Eric Hosmer at first base. Hunter Renfroe in left with Franmil Reyes in right. Corey Spangenberg at second base with Christian Villanueva at third base. Brendan Galvis the shortstop with Rafi Lopez doing the catching, and Jordan Lyles the pitcher bats out of the 9 spot. Jack Flaherty, a right-hander on the mound tonight for the Cardinals.
The 22-year-old making his 8th start. They really got the high ceiling for this kid. Good starting rotation. He's got the fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. Watch out for the slider. It's a wipeout pitch because a lot of swings and misses. I tell you what, these Cardinals, they like their pitchers tall. He is 6'4". It seems like every time these starters go out there, they're 6'4", 6'5". They like them big here in the Show Me State. Let's take a look at the Cardinals defense behind Flaherty. That's brought to you by your San Diego Cadillac dealers. Jose Martinez will be at first base. Second base, Jed Jerko. Jairo Munoz at shortstop. Matt Carpenter at third behind the plate. He's back. Yadier Molina in the outfield, left to right. Marcelo Osuna, Tommy Pham, Dexter Fowler for the Redbirds.
Well, Jack Flaherty ready to work here to Travis Jankowski to get it started. Jankowski, Hosmer, and Renfroe in the first inning. Padres and Cardinals meeting again. Second time this year. Cardinals have already been to Petco Park. First pitch of the ball game is going to miss outside, and we're underway. 306 with a home run and 6 runs batted in for Jankowski. Liner to left field. Ozuna coming in, and he'll make the catch middle of the cap high. So Jankowski retired on a line out to left. One away for Eric Hosmer. The newcomers to Cardinals this year, Marcelo Ozuna, of course, with the Marlins a year ago. What a different team the Miami Marlins are now, as we just saw in the last 3 games in Miami.
You know what? That's a good point you just bring up, because if you took back all those trades, right, and had Marlins maybe a couple pitchers away from really making some noise in the NL East.
Yeah, you bring back Yelich and Giancarlo Stanton and Ozuna. I mean, pretty good.
Yeah.
They were on the cusp. But instead, they decided to blow it up. The Padres took 2 out of 3 from Miami. Eric Hosmer will take a pitch in tight and even the count of 1-1. Hos homering yesterday, getting his 8th home run of the year. Padres have won 9 of 12. And Hosmer taking a pitch in. Hosmer 20 for his last 45. And hits one on the ground towards the first baseman Martinez, who will take it to the bag himself for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down here in the first inning, and that'll bring up Hunter Renfroe. Flaherty coming in 2-2, the 3.20 earned run average. It was 8th start of the year, and about to deal with Hunter Renfroe. Hunter at 268, 3 homers and 15 runs batted in. And 12 games since coming off the DL, the elbow injury, hitting at 375, 6 extra base hits and 7 RBIs. Recipient of strike 1.
Yeah, for 2 quick outs, Hunter, the way he's swinging the bat, batting third, it's a chance to get a 2-out knock, maybe start something, then have Reyes, the number 4 hitter, come up, maybe a little 2-out thunder.
Well, the Cardinals were at Petco Park. Played a 4-game series in San Diego back in mid-May. The club split the 4-game series, with teams winning 2. Matheny's squad 3 games back in the National League Central, heading into tonight's action, and they're in 3rd place.
Does it seem like time has gone by so quickly, Don, that Matheny was named manager back in November of 2011.
It's gone by pretty quickly.
Yeah. Came in after Tony La Russa won a world championship. La Russa retired. Matheny took over. I'd say those are pretty good big shoes to fill.
At the time with no managing experience.
Right.
Has done a very good job here. He's getting to the World Series in 2013, losing that World Series to Boston.
Yeah, 11 world championships for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Popped up foul off to the right out of play. Start for Jack Flaherty of the season. We'll look at his arsenal.
22 years old. 58% of the time he's got that fastball. Usually, you know, a pitcher is going to be 60, 65 plus, but he likes that slider almost 30% of the time. And with 2 strikes, he likes to throw it a lot.
Fly ball headed to right field. Has Dexter Fowler camped underneath. Puts it away in a 1-2-3 first inning for Jack Flaherty. Cardinals are coming up. Inning. On a warm night tonight in St. Louis, we check out Mike Matheny starting 9, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers. Matt Carpenter leading it off with Tommy Pham in center field. Jose Martinez at first base. Marcelo Osuna in left field. Yadier Molina back with them again doing the catching. Jed Jerko, the former Padre, at second base. Dexter Fowler's in right with Jairo Munoz at shortstop and Jack Flaherty, the pitcher, out of the 9 spot. Jordan Lyles on the hill for the Padres tonight.
His scouting report brought to you by GMC. The right-hander, he needs a bounce-back outing because last time 4 1/3, 11 hits and 8 runs. That's a good start. Firing strike number 1 for Jordan. Pounds the corners with his fastball. That's when he's effective. It's almost like, here it is, see how far you can hit it, and then adjustment on the curveball. If he gets ahead, he can drop that curveball. Even in the dirt, they will swing at it. Let's keep an eye on that curveball tonight.
Into the shift on the right side. It's Galvis, the shortstop, on the right side of the infield, who throws out Carpenter.
Rest of the defense behind Jordan Lyles tonight. It's brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Hunter Renfroe in left field. Travis Jankowski patrolling center. Franmil Reyes in right. On the infield, Christian Villanueva at third. Shortstop, everyday Freddie Galvis. Corey Spangenberg at second base. First base, Gold Glover Eric Hosmer. And behind the dish, putting down the sign, sitting like a frog, Rafi Lopez.
One down here in the last of the first inning. Tommy Pham. Fouled back to the screen and is quickly down here 0-2. 9 home runs for Pham so far on the year. 23 RBIs to go along with a .271 batting average.
Kind of in a little bit of a slump right now, Tommy Pham. Over the last month, 30 days-ish, .206 average. These are the guys, Don, that you want to put away and put away quickly. No deep counts.
The last 4 starts now for Lyles. He's gone 1-1 with a 7.89 earned run average with 6 home runs. It's been a tough go lately for Lyles, and that has coincided with that perfect game bid that he made that he took into the 8th inning against the Rockies on May 15th. Since then, the numbers have been pretty tough. He lost to the Cardinals back on May 10th. Bounces this one in there.
Looks like a changeup.
Outing against the Cardinals, allowed 2 runs, 1 earned in 5 innings. It's a 2-1 Padres defeat.
Hopefully Jordan Lyles can find that release point early tonight, pounding that fastball to both sides of the plate.
Strike 3 call, froze him right there. Pham strikes out, 2 down in the first.
Well, this ball has the look. You know, it's at 84. Maybe that's a curveball, a hard curveball, or maybe a bigger slider. Any way you look at it, frozen pizza right there. 2 quick outs.
So 2 down for Jose Martinez. Tall first baseman for the Cardinals, who stands in here on the right side. Leading this team in batting average coming in and hitting at .320 on the year. 9 home runs and 40 runs batted in. Go along with the hefty batting average for Jose Martinez. Wait for him to go the other way. Jumping ahead is Lyles, 0-2.
Donnie, we're going to call that strikeout pitch a curveball. It was at 84. Usually sliders are higher 80s. Going to keep an eye on that number 2 tonight. Take a look at the defense. Big gap in left center field.
Jankowski well into right center. Getting the start at center field tonight. Rounder foul. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Clip the kid's wings. Talking about Jack Flaherty. He's a Cardinal. You don't want him to fly and soar, right? You want to clip the wings and so he doesn't fly. No flying tonight for him. And Jordan copies Clayton. You know, probably more strikeouts from Jordan, but hey, early outs, grounders, keep the ball in the ballpark, take your chances.
One-two pitch coming from Lyles. And that one buried in the dirt, and it is 2-2.
That's that changeup. He's thrown it twice tonight, and they both bounced in the dirt.
Well, he's got through everything he throws and doesn't like any of them. 2-2 pitch. And it's lined into center field. Over is Jankowski. Martinez aboard with a 2-out base hit. First base runner to reach in this game for the Cardinals.
This kid can hit. Big kid, strong. Good discipline at the plate. Doesn't strike out a lot. And remember, we had the anniversary of the ball going off of Jose Canseco's head for a home run. That was his dad that hit it as a Cleveland Indian. So his son playing in the big leagues and hitting big time. This kid can hit.
Martinez at first, 2 down, and Marcelo Zuna the batter. Zuna batting in the cleanup spot for St. Louis. And that one will drop in there for strike 1.
Curveball for strike 1 is so key for Jordan Lyles. He's got to get it down though. First pitch, okay, you get me over. A lot of guys are looking for the old number 1, so they'll probably take it. But if they're looking for it, they can hurt you.
Zuna hitting at .278 overall in the year, but he has been hot lately. Last 18 games hitting at .407. 24 for his last 59 with 11 RBIs, so he's been productive and placed in the cleanup spot by Mike Matheny. On the ground foul outside of third.
Hey, Jose Oquendo still good to his right. Did you see him pick that one?
I did.
Over at third base. The secret weapon, Jose Oquendo. Back in the day, he was the guy who would spot start. He would come off the bench, and the Cardinals' secret weapon. to help them win a lot of games and get them to the postseason.
Two balls, two strikes to Ozuna with Martinez at first and 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning. Grounded foul over by the Padres dugout and into it. Of course, the Padres are housed on the third base side here at Busch Stadium. Ozuna hurt himself on that swing.
A little overextended, or he's pointing to his left index finger hand.
Trainer started out, but he waved him off, and now Kendo, third base coach, coming down the line.
He's telling everybody to back off. Here comes Jose Oquendo. See how his hand came off the bat there, and then he grimaces. I say throw him another breaking ball down and away.
So make him hurt even more is what you're saying. If he...
Hey, you know what? You got to pitch to their weaknesses.
2-2 pitch on the ground down the third baseline, foul.
And what do you know, Jordan Lyles is thinking along the same lines. What are you going to do, underhand it to him?
Well, I'm not thinking that. I'm just thinking maybe something else where you don't hurt him. You know, you're not trying to hurt your opposition.
No, of course not.
Yeah, of course not. 2-2. Carpenter grounded out. Pham struck out looking, and then Martinez singled to center. Battle here, though, with Marcell Ozuna. And a grounder up the middle, and that'll get into center field. Martinez takes second base, and all of a sudden, back-to-back base hits with 2 down in the first inning for St. Louis.
Hey, that was a good battle right there. After swinging and fouling off a couple breaking balls, that was a slider at 89. He stayed on it, sent it right back up, loaded on the backside, front-footed. Front foot hitting right there by Ozuna. Almost Roberto Clemente-like out in front.
So 2 on, 2 down, and that brings up Yadier Molina. Molina was on the DL when the Cardinals were in San Diego. It's a .265, 6 homers, 22 runs batted in. And rolls it over foul for strike 1.
See the defense there. If he drew a line, home plate, pitcher's plate, second base. Travis Jankowski is straight up the gut there. Why? Because, you know, Molina will spray the ball all over the place.
Swing and a miss on a pitch headed down, and it's 0-2. And a liner down the left field line that is going to be a foul ball. Into the box seats down there. Out ahead was Molina. #25th pitch of the inning coming up here for Jordan Lyles. Got 2 quick outs. Ground out to strikeout, but since then a couple of long battles. Single for Martinez, single for Ozuna. And now Molina down in the count 0-2. Fouls it off right around the dish, and we'll do it again. 4 RBIs in the last 2 games for Molina. Eddie Green trying to win another series here. Won 4 straight. First time since 2015. On the ground to deep short. Galvis has got it, but he's got no play anywhere, so he goes to third, hoping his foot would come off the bag, but Martinez keeps that foot on the bag. Being away, but trying to keep the tag on him to see if he would come off. He did not. And the bases are now loaded. Infield hit for Yadier Molina.
Even though there's no out recorded, this is a very smart play by Freddie Galvis. Why? Because he slides, can't find the handle. Now try to get that lead runner. Sometimes, ooh, and he is on. Oh, I thought he came off a little bit, maybe. Very, very close. And I mean very, very, very close.
Bases filled with Cardinals here with 2 down, and Jed Jerko the batter. Takes strike 1. Always dangerous against his old team, the Padres. Seems like he always does something good.
Yeah, I think you got to pound him down and away. If you're going to throw him a fastball in, not be a strike. I think if you look over the course of time, what Jed Jerko has done against the Padres, it's pitches that are mistakes, and he's capitalized on. He can be pitched to.
Fouled off into the Padres dugout, third base way. The numbers to back up what we're just talking about, what he's done against his old team. 14 games, 22 hits.
Yeah, that's good.
.458 batting average. Slugging over 1,000. Bases loaded, 2 down here in the first inning. And very high for ball 1.
No problem getting loose tonight, Donnie, as a pitcher or a position player.
Or an announcer.
Yeah, the humidity is high, the heat is high. Work up a series lather.
Jerko in the air to left field. Renfroe moves over and under. And he'll put it away. Padres out of a major jam in the first. Scoreless after 1. As we head to the second inning, it's time to check out the balloting results in the National League. The first balloting results are out. Kemp, Bryce Harper, Nick Markakis in the outfield. Owen Arenado, Brandon Crawford, Ozzie Albies, and Freddie Freeman right side of the infield. Be seeing next in Atlanta. And Buster Posey leading right now. Of course, the All-Star game in Washington, D.C. It'll be right here on July 17th on Fox.
That's a pretty good lineup when you look at offense and defense. And you look at first base, Freddie Freeman. The numbers that he has been putting up, and just saw the Atlanta Braves, and that will be the next stop for the Padres. In fact, the right side of the infield, which Don just mentioned, but it's worth hearing again. You may have gone to the refrigerator, gotten a social sparkler, and rejoined us.
Franmil Reyes leading it off here in the second inning. There's Spangenberg and Villanueva featured in the inning, and Reyes did go around.
There's that slider that you'll see a lot of check swings like that. Out of the hand, looks like a strike. Sharp movement late.
Reyes gets the arms out of the way on a pitch up. Reyes, Spangenberg, and Villanueva featured here in the second inning. Fairly long wait for Jack Flaherty. Cardinals didn't score. Lyles had to throw 30 first inning pitches. Get out of a bases loaded jam in the first inning. Swing and a miss, and Reyes strikes out. First strikeout for Jack Flaherty, 1 down.
Now that fastball was at 94. Word on the street is that Flaherty can get it up there to 96, 97. Maybe add a little extra late on, but boy, you look at those mechanics. You look at that delivery. Max effort, letting her rip on the outside part of the plate with the fastball.
1 down here in the second inning for Corey Spangenberg. Jose Pirela getting the beginning of the game off, certainly available for Andy Green off the bench. Spangenberg getting the start at second base. 202, 5 homers, and 13 runs batted in. Sends one foul down the left field line out of play. Jack Flaherty in his last outing allowed 6 runs, 4 earned in 5 innings. With the loss. And the Cardinals 11-3 defeat to the Marlins on Wednesday. Prior to that outing, Flaherty had gone 2-0 with a 2.22 ERA in his 4 previous starts. And it comes too far inside here to Spangenberg, 3-1.
This kid was on the fast track to the big leagues. A little bit of time last year, but drafted in 2014, the 34th pick overall.
Spangenberg turns on this and lines it down the right field line, and that ball is going to be gone just over the fence in right field. Corey Spangenberg, with his 6th home run of the year, puts the Padres on top 1-0. Turns on this one and lines it out of the yard.
Boy, that's getting on that 94. Inner third, pitches up a little bit, belt buckle high, and the line drive just makes it over.
Now the Padres jump on top 1-0 on the home run by Spangenberg.
That's hunting that fastball in. That's looking in, getting it, and doing some serious damage.
Christian Villanueva will pop this up. Back and out of play.
I should have picked Spangenberg for pick the stick.
Yeah, he was available on the board.
Was he?
Yes.
Did you have a chance to get him?
I did.
That's a good AB.
He was ahead 3-1 in the count for taking it out of the yard. 2-1 here. This one is driven to left field pretty deep. Ozuna going back, turns around, and it's off the wall. Right back to him. He'll get it back in quickly and very nicely to second base on one hop. It's a long single where Christian Villanueva hits it off the wall in left field.
Smart move by Ozuna, realizing that this ball was crushed. Boy, he goes down and gets that fastball. That's in the hot zone for Christian Villanueva as well. Watch out, Whitey Herzog. Almost got Whitey right in the right shoulder there. Holds him to a long single. Good job by Ozuna getting that ball in quickly off the carom.
1 out, 1 on, and Freddie Galvis coming up. 233, 3 homers, and 22 runs batted in. Drop in there for strike 1.
Good breaking ball there. It's a curveball.
Galvis has reached base safely in 10 of his last 11 games. He's been walking more, 6 walks last 11 games. A throw over to first base, and back is Villanueva. Galvis has started in every game so far this year for the Padres. 68 games now. Andy Green was asked before the game about thinking about giving him a day off, and he said no. It over foul, and it's 0-2.
You know, the guys who are gamers are the guys that look at the schedule, as you point to yourself. The guys that are gamers are the guys that look at the schedule and they look at the scheduled off day. That's my off day, Skip. You know, I'll take the travel day off. I want to play every day. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
So lifted in the air to shallow left center. Ozuna coming in now, backpedaling a step or two for out number 2. And back to first goes Villanueva, 2 down. So Galvis retired. That'll bring up Rafi Lopez. Batting out of the 8th spot for the Padres. Lopez back in there again. 3rd straight start now for Rafi Lopez. Started the last 2 games of the series in Miami and the first game of this series here in St. Louis. Takes the high strike for strike 1. And 4 home runs a year ago with the Toronto Blue Jays. So far 3 home runs this year in a Padres uniform. Off the backside of the hill momentarily, and now back up on top. Lopez on the road has had a tough time for whatever reason. 2 for 31 away from Petco Park.
Yeah, that's what I can't figure out. I've asked hitting coaches, managers, even players, and it's like, how do you explain these numbers? And it's a conundrum. You really can't put your finger on it.
Very comfortable at Petco Park, that's
True.
for sure.
Yep.
Comforts of home.
And then there are the guys who can hit anywhere, right? Doesn't matter.
Backdrop here is pretty good, it appears to me, here in St. Louis.
You know, it was a good series in Miami for the Padres, but I think there's always a factor when you come from the west to the Midwest and East, the humidity factor. How's it going to play on a ball club?
Lopez lines this over the shift into right field for a base hit. Villanueva stops at second base. The Padres have 2 on with 2 down here in the 2nd inning.
They passed the baton on to the next guy. Pitcher Jordan Lyles due up, and high fastball. Not even a leg kick, just a little turn to the front side. Very quiet swing by Rafi Lopez. Some serious top hand.
So 2 on, 2 down, and Jordan Lyles, the pitcher, 0 for 9 at the plate this year for the Padres. And that one just misses low for ball 1. 127 in his career at the plate, 8th major league season. 2 home runs to his credit, 11 RBIs. High strike that time. Jack Flaherty, who had a 1-2-3 first inning, has given up a run here in the 2nd on a home run by Corey Spangenberg. Altogether, he's allowed 3 hits here in the inning. 1-1 pitch. And that one is flared foul down the right field line, out of play. 2-2. Jack Flaherty, 22 years of age, born in Burbank, California.
I think he went to the same high school as our own Bob Scanlon. Harvard Westlake, right?
That is the case. Yeah, graduated from Harvard Westlake.
Bob Scanlon's alma mater. Ahoy polloi.
Jack Flaherty was a first-round draft choice, 34th overall in June 2014. The off pitch coming up here. Runners will get a start with 2 down. And a grounder softly hit towards third base. Carpenter races in, and his throw is just going to be in time. Nice play. They get Jordan Lyles to end the inning. But a home run by Corey Spangenberg, a line drive home run to right field that has the Padres on top 1-0 after an inning and a half from Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
And you know, it's a good environment to be in, a very positive atmosphere. The veterans do a really good job with making the atmosphere fun, relaxed, and really just your job is to show up and do your job. And when you do that, you can have more fun.
No, we've just been really confident in the work we're putting in with the preparation, and you know, I think guys are gaining more confidence, getting more time up here, getting more at bats, and it's kind of things we had feelings that would happen. You know, you get more experience up here, the more confident you feel, and you start to see better production on the field.
That's the Padre clubhouse. There's no question that there's a new confidence in that clubhouse right now. With the Padres winning their last 4 series, they've gone 17-10 over the last 3 weeks. And several of the veterans commented that it's a combination of things. Number one, as you heard there, guys are coming to the ballpark understanding what their role is on a given day. But number two, the veterans have said, look, a lot of these young players are just getting more comfortable here. They know the routine, they know how to prepare themselves, and all the work that they've been putting in is finally starting to pay off. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Scan, thanks very much. How you doing down there? It looks a little toasty field level.
Oh, no, the air conditioning down here is fabulous, guys.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm looking for my muffler. I brought a scarf with me on the road trip here. I'm sure I'll get to use it here in a moment.
Hey, I like the two-tone collar you're sporting tonight, Scan.
It's a new look, Mud.
Yeah, the light blue into the dark blue.
Yeah, sure. You know,
Yeah.
custom shirts. You can go with the two-tone when you want to.
That's great.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
It's two-tone under the armpits, too, right?
All over, yeah. In the
Yeah.
creases of your arms, down in the belly button area as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, all the prime spots.
On to the bottom of the second inning, and Dexter Fowler leading it off here against Jordan Lyles. Lyles had to throw 30 first inning pitches. On the ground, foul outside of first.
Boy, if anybody needed a quick inning right now, it's Jordan Lyles. This is one of those games where You know, I know they have the dry fit and all that stuff now, but it could be like a t-shirt and inning type game for a pitcher. Maybe change your jersey, throw it in the dryer, and then you've got a backup jersey that you can wear and go out there. You know, the equipment has a tendency to get a little heavy when you're out there.
2-2 pitch hit sharply to first, but Hosmer's got it, and he'll win the race to the bag. It's time now for the tools of the trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks.
Going to talk about the curveball from Jordan Lyles against the Redbirds at home. Boy, he really had good tilt on it, but the key is getting to 2 strikes and then dropping it on him. We've seen a couple of curveballs early in the count from Jordan Lyles to set it up late, but if it just rolls up there right into the swing path, Freddie Freeman, for instance, it's going to do some damage. And it's just a little bit as far as getting out in front of the release point. And I'm talking maybe an inch or 2 out in front. Just a little bit could be the difference of a get me over curveball and a curveball down by the ankles for the swing and miss. So the first 2 starts, 50% of the time. Swing and a miss, last 4, not so good.
On the ground and down to the base of the hill. He knocked it down, but by the time it gets to Galvis, you can do nothing with it. Lyles at the base of the hill going down there trying to block it. Got part of it and kind of redirected it softly out to Galvis. It'll be a base hit for Jairo Munoz.
I think that's one of those where Jordan Lyles wishes he just let it go. He's fisted on a breaking ball, and that ball is going to be on the second baseman side of the bag, and that looks like it was going to be a play that either Spangenberg or Galvis could have made.
One out, one on, and it brings up the pitcher Jack Flaherty back for the first time. Flaherty at the plate this season, 1 for 12. Go to first, and back to the bag is Munoz. Bunt bid, and it is bunted foul.
Can't stab at it. You got to let the ball hit the bat. And we talk about it all the time about how, imagine there's a glove attached to your bat. You want to catch the ball with the glove. Let the ball travel to the barrel. Let the speed of the ball do the work.
Drops the bunt down this time and gets it down to fair ground. Hosmer will fire to first. Spangenberg covering. So 3-4 on the sacrifice as Munoz will take second base. Get you a game break and caught up on the Giants and Marlins getting their series tonight in Miami. Another National League West team invading Marlins Park. 2 down, Munoz at second base, top of the order now. Second time through here for Jordan Lyles. Carpenter grounded out to the shortstop Freddie Galvis in the first inning. 0 for 1. 40th pitch of the outing coming up for Jordan Lyles. Before May 16th, 35 games, 16 hits, but since we saw Carpenter when he was struggling in the middle of May at Petco Park, but since then 34 hits and a .347 batting average since mid-May.
That's got to play in a guy's mind. You know, what turns it around? Well, maybe one at bat. It could be a walk. You see pitches, you're seeing pitches better. Maybe an infield single gets you over the hump. Next thing you know, you're on your way. Maybe it's an adjustment in the stance. I've always liked the no batting gloves from Matt Carpenter. Fight Frog, TCU, Horned Frogs. Gritty player.
Raised his batting average from 140 to 236 during that time from May 16th on. That one's in there for a strike, taken all the way, and it's now 3-1. On deck is Tommy Pham. The Padres on top 1-0. Cardinals batting in their half of the second inning. Going back and forth here with Rafael Lopez as to what he's going to do. Important pitch here. Good hitters count of 3-1 with a runner at second base. And that's in there for strike 2. So he's battled back nicely here. Full count now.
Oh, that's a pitch to crush for Carpenter. 3-1. I don't know what he was looking for. That was right in his wheelhouse.
Swing and a miss on a pitch down and in. Carpenter strikes out. Takes with him the second strikeout for Lyles. 1-0 Padres. All right, Mike and Mark, thanks very much. We play along here to inning number 3, and it's the top of the order for San Diego. Travis Jankowski to lead it off. And take strike 1. Jankowski lined down to the left fielder Marcelo Zuna in the first inning. 40th pitch of the game coming up for the Cardinals right-hander.
You know, you talk about the Giants and the way they're playing lately. We talked about Matt Carpenter swinging and struggling early. Brandon Crawford has really turned it around for the Gigantes. May and June, 36 games, hit .439 for the Giants shortstop.
Giants a game over 500 at 33-32. They're tied with the Dodgers, 2.5 back of the Diamondbacks. This one grounded down the first baseline, fair ball. And tagging the bag at first is Jose Martinez. Jankowski retired. One down of the inning. It's time now for the Kia drive to success. Yeah, Derek Hosmer coming up. Most hits since May the 29th. Derek Hosmer with 20, tied with Nick Castellanos and Eddie Rosario with 20. Wild swing and a miss there, swinging for the down.
And when you're swinging the bat well, the pitcher knows that, right? So you put a little wrinkle in one for the first pitch.
Check swing. Did he go? No, says Ed Hickox, third base umpire. And it evens here 1-1 to Hosmer. Hosmer bounced out to his counterpart at first base, Jose Martinez. Back in the first inning. It's like a breaking ball. And a swing and a miss, 2-2.
Tried to backdoor that one. Very nicely done. Now he's got him set up for that fastball in.
Renfroe waiting on deck, batting in the 3 spot tonight for the Padres. May have gone, he did, and he is rung up by home plate umpire Jerry Meals. Second strikeout for Flaherty, and there are 2 outs here in the 3rd inning.
That's that slider. Talked about it earlier, to righties and lefties alike. Boy, out of the hand. Looks like it's going to be towards the outside corner. And watch the glove of Molina aiming towards that back foot, and he most definitely went on that swing.
2 down brings up Hunter Renfroe, getting his second look at Jack Flaherty. Renfroe flat out to the right fielder Dexter Fowler in the first. Renfroe doing a better job against right-handers in the first 17 games, hitting only 143 against right-handed pitching, but 458 in the last 12 games.
I look at numbers like that and I think that a guy isn't pull happy. You have to have those numbers. I believe you have to use the whole field, right center field. Yeah, you'll get your hacks when it's a hanging breaking ball, it's a hitter's count trying to pull. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're behind in the count, you get something away, drive it to right center. I mean, what's wrong with a little duck snort down the right field line for a double?
High drive down the left field line, but he was out ahead. Fouling one deep and far, but foul.
Goes off the facing of the second deck out there. Third deck, oh, because there's a 1, 2, and then the third one, yeah. Long strike.
Fouls it back to the screen. We'll do it again, 1 and 2. Had a 1-2-3 first, long second, 2 outs here in the 3rd, and makes quick work of Renfroe and the Padres. He in the 3rd inning, back-to-back Ks, 1-0 Padres.
talking about the curveball by Jordan Lyles. There you see it used for strike 3 against Pham. This is a bases loaded 2-out situation. Throws it in the front door to get Jerko, and then to end the second inning with a runner in scoring position, Carpenter down on that same curveball. Guys, maybe not the same shape that we've seen it in other games, but equally as effective today. The other things that he's working on is keeping that tempo going, that quick tempo that he used coming out of the bullpen. The Padres want to see him to continue to do that, especially with runners on base, and look for the two-seam fastball today as well. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Scan, thanks very much. Tommy Pham leading it off here and grounding one through the right side into right field, a base hit. Pham, who had struck out in the first inning, has a single to begin things here in the bottom of the third inning. That's hit number 5 for the Cardinals of the night. And the first time in tonight's ball game that they've had the lead runner on. He's up Jose Martinez. Lyles having to throw 45 pitches through the first 2 innings. Highest OPS among first basemen. Jose Martinez at 905. Freddie Freeman on top, 998. And Martinez with a single back in the first inning, single to center field. Good throw over on Tommy Pham, back to the bag safely.
And on the Cardinals roster, he's in second place for grounding into a double play. Leading in that category is Tommy Pham with 8. Martinez has grounded into 7.
You're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance. You know, we got that slider, that breaking ball, that curveball, some to beat into the ground. That's a good call right there. Getting a call off the plate for strike 1. Stay out there if you're going to go out there with the fastball.
Hosmer holding on Pham at first base with nobody out here in the third inning. Fly ball center field. Jankowski going back, still going at the wall. It's gone. Jose Martinez has connected on his 10th home run of the year, and the Cardinals take a 2-1 lead with one swing of the bat here in the third inning.
Was it a curveball? No, it looked like a changeup. Straight change. Left on the inner half. And I tell you what, judging by that swing, usually guys are out in front of it a little bit on the changeup. He eyed that one perfectly and drove it to the right center field bleachers. That's a good at-bat by Martinez. That was impressive.
So a 2-run shot that gives the Cardinals a 2-1 lead. Ozuna pops it up right side of the Padres infield. Eric Hosmer taking charge and a stride on the infield grass. It's the catch for out number 1 of the inning. 10th of the season for Martinez. Still to take 416 feet. There's no one pitch he took out of the yard. So 1 out. The bases are empty, and Yadier Molina coming up. An infield hit in the first inning.
You know, Martinez, he's not going to win a Gold Glove over there at first base, and if not, he's going to play the outfield. Well, he was with Kansas City, right? And there just happened to be a first baseman in Kansas City at the time by the name of Eric Hosmer. So you know he's not going to take his spot. And you know Eric Hosmer is wearing the Padre blue tonight, but he's getting a chance over here in St. Louis. Putting a hurting on that baseball.
Molina grounds one to third base via a wave up bobble. Has time to recover. Molina does not run well. And still able to get him by a lot. 2 down. So 2 outs for Jed Jerko. Flied out to left field in the first inning. 0 for 1. Batting here with 2 down and the base is empty. Jed Jerko, highest career OPS against any opponent. It's his old team, the Padres. Minimum 50 plate appearances. drop in there for a strike, 1-1. A leadoff single by Tommy Pham. The 2-run home run by Jose Martinez has given the Cardinals 2-1 advantage. With 2 down here in the home half of the 3rd inning. And so far we are precipitation free. Let's weather app had it raining in 8 minutes. That was about an hour ago. So, so things have been consistent in that regard. Is it raining right now according to your app? Let's see here.
Dry.
Oh, it's dry now. This one in the air towards right center. And Jankowski calling and catching out number 3. But a 2-run shot for Jose Martinez as St. Louis on top 2-1. Cadillac dealers today, and by Petco, the pet company. Now the Padres had a 1-0 advantage, but the Cardinals with a 2-run home run from Jose Martinez taking a 2-1 advantage. It's to the top of the 4th inning we go. Franmil Reyes leading it off here for the Padres, and Reyes will jolt one to right field, but playable for Dexter Fowler. 1 down. Now time for the top tier plays brought to you by Arco. We look at the pitching sequence to Corey Spangenberg.
You see Spangy take the first pitch high, another breaking ball away, fouls off the 93-mile-an-hour fastball, tries to come hard in, tries to do it again and misses over the middle of the plate. Spangenberg has shown all year long if you get the fastball in the middle of the plate, he can hurt you, and that's exactly what he did on that fastball.
The voice you hear is Anthony Gwynn Jr. joining us here for the middle innings from St. Louis as Corey Spangenberg batting again. And he will take a strike over the outside corner. Spangenberg, the home run, his 6th of the year. Last 4 games hitting at .417. And Tony Spangenberg getting a chance to play with Jose Perella on the bench tonight, getting the start at second base.
Yeah, and this is why you need the depth on the bench. You need guys like Perella to get a rest, who's been, you know, one of the more consistent hitters for the Padres. He needs a day. A guy like Corey can step in. Not only can he play second, he can play third, play in the outfield as well. So the utility guy is a valuable player to have on your ball club, especially in the National League.
5 in a row retired now by Flaherty. And a grounder foul outside of first. A well-pitched ball game so far in this one. Jordan Lyles making the one mistake, it appeared, but right now the Padres doing pretty well with Lyles, and on the other side, Flaherty.
Yeah, I mean, with Lyles, he got off to a tremendous start. He was ahead of pretty much everybody. Just having a hard time finishing him, and they make him pay a little bit when he missed in the middle.
That's in there for strike 3, and this time Spangenberg strikes out 4 Ks for Flaherty. 2 down here in the 4th inning.
Looked like Corey might have been looking off speed there. Gets the fastball, pitch that was all similar spot that he hit the homer on. Kind of tells you he was. This pitch is supposed to be away. Comes back over the outer third. Certainly a pitch with 2 strikes you can handle, but as I said, it looked like Corey was looking off speed there.
Richard Villanueva batting for the 2nd time against Flaherty. Single in the 2nd inning, so 1 for 1 in the ball game, and he's got one of the 3 Padres hits in this game.
I think the Cardinals' game plan is pretty evident to this Padre lineup. They're trying to pound these guys hard in, show them something soft away, and then try to finish right back in on the inner half of the plate. For the most part, Flaherty's done a good job of executing.
Swing and a miss. Villanueva chasing that pitch. 1-2.
There's that soft away. Gets the first strike and right on the corner. Throws the slider down and away. He has options now. He's shown in, he's shown away, he's got the swing away. Looks like they're going to go slider down and away again.
Villanueva not chasing this time. Not tantalizing enough.
That's where the execution can be just a game of inches. I mean, if that pitch is 2-3 inches up higher, it looks a little bit different to the hitter as it comes in. Maybe he offers.
Offers at this and pops it up. They're coming from everywhere in the infield. And who's going to take charge here? It's the shortstop, Jairo Munoz, who makes the catch and ends the inning. 7 in a row retired by Flaherty. Inning back in St. Louis. Time now for our Valley View Casino trivia question. Cardinals have 9,994 wins since joining the National League in 1892. How many major league teams have reached 10,000 wins since 1892? Tweet us your answers by the end of the inning using hashtag Valley View Trivia.
Gotta figure there can't be that many.
No. Dexter Fowler leading it off here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Fowler grounded out first base in the 2nd. 0 for 1. Valley played here in St. Louis?
I did.
Yeah.
Other than any day games that were here.
Yes.
It.
Wow. Hot.
I don't know if I've ever been here when it's been cool. It's always hot there. But it's a very, very fun place to play. Obviously, the history in this building, although this is a newer stadium, you just get the sense that it's been around. This organization has been around for a long time.
This is Busch Stadium the 3rd. A chance to work in Busch Stadium the 2nd. And this one, I like this one a lot. I really
do too. I do too.
Fly ball headed towards center field. The shortstop Galvis out. Still going, still calling, and making the catch. So Fowler retired for the first out here in the 4th inning.
One of the things you get at this stadium that's unique, and it really shouldn't be, is the dimensions are as normal as you're going to get in any baseball park. Identical dimensions in the gaps, about a foot off in the corners. It's 400 feet to center. It's probably one of the more fair ballparks in all of baseball.
Pretty symmetrical. You're right.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. There are not a lot of
There's
nooks
no
and crannies.
weird like crannies or the thing in left center. None of that stuff.
Yeah, not a lot of stuff to bounce off of, or corners to fall into, or anything else.
Or some type of hill to run up when you're out there, you know.
I still can't believe they had the hill in Houston. I know it's gone now, but
You
still,
and me both.
That's unbelievable.
It was there for a long time before they got rid of it, too.
And at one point they had the flagpole in there too, with the hill. Really? I mean,
it's like, what is the reason for the hill to be in play? I never understood that.
fly ball headed to right field. Franmil Reyes coming in, still coming in, and he'll make the catch, running on a slant towards the line for out number 2.
I feel like that hill was put there just to get not top 10s on there, so guys could fall over and look crazy out there.
Did you play out there in center field, Derek?
The poles weren't there when I played there, but the hill was there. Yes.
I mean, I don't know how many times it came into play. I mean, that's a long way away. That was like, what, 420 or something?
It came into play a few times when I was playing there. I had some experience, though, because in AAA, the Albuquerque Isotopes have an even steeper hill than that.
Come on.
I promise
wow.
you.
So you had a little experience with the hill in center field.
I had a little experience with the whole slanted hill in the middle of the field.
Wow. Jack Flaherty, the pitcher, going the other way with a base hit. And it's going to get by Franmil Reyes. So Flaherty's going to keep on running, and he is thinking third base. He's going to get there without a problem. Well, Reyes came in and had a real shot to throw him out of first base with where he was playing shallow in right field. But instead it gets by him, and all the way to third base goes Flaherty.
He had the right idea in Franmil Reyes off the bat playing shallow, but this ball had some side spin on it. So as he's attacking it, it kind of kicks to his left, and he didn't quite adjust to that kick to the left part. And it goes underneath his glove and heads all the way to the wall. Flaherty is on base with a single, 2-base error.
90 feet away now with 2 down in the inning. Matt Carpenter coming up with a chance to add on here for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 4th inning. They stack it up defensively on the right side here, shifting on Carpenter. Galvis, Spangenberg, and Hosmer on the right side. Only Villanueva on the left side. Runs away, 2-0.
Cardinal lineup has really put heat on Lyles, making him make extra pitches. He went from being ahead of every hitter, now he's starting to fall behind a little bit. Those extra pitches start to add up.
This is pitch 71 of his outing. And it's a check swing, but a strike called anyway. Post pitch.
It's going to be interesting to see. We see it a lot with the pitchers getting on base and having to run that triple out. We want to see if that's going to affect him on the mound. We've seen it happen lots of times with pitchers.
The heat of St. Louis, especially here tonight. On the ground into the shift, and it's handled by Spangenberg. The throw low but dug out by Hosmer to end the inning. Play 4, 2-1 Cardinals.
now, and he doesn't want one. If we feel like we get to a point where we got to do it, we can do it. But he's the kind of guy that goes out there and he plays at a slow, steady rhythm that's consistent. And he's not quick twitch all over the field. It's intelligence, it's good breaks, it's consistent hands and arm stroke. So I think he's one of the way he plays is probably wired to be able to grind every day. So we're grateful he can, because we're not really built roster-wise to be able to cover that hole if he's not out there.
Talking about his shortstop, Freddie Galvis, who's appeared in all 68 ball games for the Padres so far and has no intention of getting a day off. And Andy mentioned a couple things. First of all, he's not a fast twitch athlete. He knows how to pace himself physically, but the other side of that is also mentally. He knows how to pace himself. He goes at a good rhythm. He doesn't burn up energy, not necessarily. Andy says, look, there are times where you see him pull up on certain plays, and it's not because it's lazy. It's because he knows he needs to get through 162 games. In talking to Freddie, he says, yeah, my goal is to play every single game. How do I do it? I prepare myself during spring training and the off-season. He says those are the two key times that help him get through 162. That, getting his sleep, drinking his water. Look, the guy's a professional. He takes care of himself, and he wants to be out there every single day. He's looking stronger and stronger each day, guys. Let's see if he can get this inning going.
All right, Scan, thanks very much. He's a guy who wants to play every day and did last year for the Philadelphia Phillies, all 162.
And that's part of it. You got to have somebody who actually is looking to play every day. And Freddie's right. I mean, the work starts in the offseason. You get that time off for most guys, October all the way till February, and that's quite a bit of time to be able to work on your body and make sure that it's prepared to go 162. Games changed a little bit. There was a time where spring training was used to kind of get in shape. You make that mistake now, you're not going to be on the team very long.
Now we play here into the 5th inning, and you're right. Jack Flaherty took forever to get out there, first of all, after the legging out the 3 bases, and then when he did get out there, warmed up about as slowly as you can. And we'll see what kind of impact it has on him here in the 5th inning. He took his time.
That's something that clearly the Cardinals were aware of, and he was aware of. He did take quite a bit of time to get out to the mound, and even the tempo of his pitches, warm-up pitches, was slow. So we'll see if it has an effect on him during this inning.
Bottom third of the Padres order in the inning. Galvis will take ball 2, 2-0.
It doesn't even have to be this inning. It could show up in the next inning or the inning after as well. So
he's retired 7 in a row. And falling behind here, 3-0. The error did not turn out to be costly. It did cost Jordan Lyles some more pitches, but he was able to get out of the inning, not allowing a run. Strike call. Rafi Lopez waiting on deck. Full count now. It's about where the fastball's been, 93 miles an hour. For Flaherty, who's about to throw his 70th pitch of his outing. And it's to left field. Ozuna over a few steps for out number 1.
Good swing there by Freddie. Unfortunately, Marcell Ozuna's right there to make the play.
One down here in the 5th, and it'll bring up Rafi Lopez. Galvis had been ahead 3-0 in the count, but retired here for the first out of the 5th inning. And Lopez single to right field in the 2nd inning. He has 1 of 3 Padres hits. Now one hopper to second base. The high hop to Jerko. 2 down. So far so good for Flaherty. He's now retired 9 Padres in a row, and now will be dealing with the Padres pitcher, his counterpart in Jordan Lyles. Lyles grounded out to third base in the 2nd inning. Good crowd here tonight. Always a good crowd in St. Louis. Yeah. Great fan base. This one fouled off down the right field line out of play.
Very rarely do you go to any stadium and see every single layer of the field almost filled up. So you look out and you might say, okay, it's not great, but every level, the top level's pretty much full, the level underneath that's pretty much full.
Pretty much all summer.
Right.
Very consistent. They are a very nice fan base too, I will say. They really are. 1-2 to Lyles, going to drop in there for strike 3. That is the 5th strikeout for Flaherty. A 1-2-3 5th, 2-1 Cardinals. Into the Hall of Fame has begun as we all look forward to it. Head towards the induction on Sunday, July 29th. We'll be sharing special moments throughout Trevor's life and career every day on both Padres Live, the pregame and postgame shows. And Tony Gwynn, that is an exciting time that is coming up and amazing time. Just can't wait.
First of all, I'm glad that we used a picture of him in the sand uniform, which is my favorite uniform. Secondly, I think for me, it's an exciting time. This is the first time I would have gone back since my dad went into the Hall of Fame. So I'm excited for him. I mean, I always told myself that would be the next time I went was when Trevor went in this year. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast.
Well, I'm sure he's worked on that speech a lot. That's a tough thing, doing that speech.
I mean, I think from his standpoint, he's going to want to get up there and he's not going to want to forget anybody who he feels like helped him get to this point. And that's where it becomes difficult. You feel terrible when you've left somebody out that you know should be in it. I know that's what my dad's biggest fear was.
Tommy Pham going to lead it off here. How much time do you think your dad put into that?
He put a lot of time into it. It took him, I don't know the exact amount of time, but I know each time I went to the house, and I wasn't going over there all the time at that point because I was playing still. He was working on it.
Fly ball out to deep center field. Jankowski will have room just shy of the warning track for the first out of the inning. So one down here in the 5th inning, and Jose Martinez coming up. What do you remember most about going there?
That it had to be the hottest day ever on earth.
Cooperstown, a little warm, was it?
It was
July?
really warm. My wife was pregnant with our first child. The Brewers were kind enough to let me go off and see my dad going to the Hall of Fame, and I just remember how many people were out there for him and Cal going into the Hall of Fame. It was something I'll never forget, at least for the rest of my life.
And one down here in the 5th inning. As far as ceremonies go, that's about the coolest.
Yeah, I would just say the least.
Especially you got all the guys sitting behind him, and you take a look at those guys, and it's just unbelievable. I'm sure it's going to be.
I mean, as you're saying this, I'm getting chills going down my back right now, because that is the most amazing part. Is obviously for me, it was watching my dad on that stage, but then to look behind him and see the type of names that were back there at the time, it was incredible.
down here in the 5th inning. Jose Martinez 2 for 2. He's fouled it off to the right. His home run is the difference in this game. Hit a 2-run shot in the 3rd inning. His 10th home run of the year. And it's a 2-1 Cardinals lead.
I think in the 7 hits that Lyles has given up, the 2 hardest hits were to this guy right here, Mr. Martinez. A single up the middle and then the homer to center.
Pushes him back with a fastball riding in.
Martinez spent a long time in the minor leagues before he got his first taste at the big league level.
Lines this the other way into right field. He has been a tough out for Jordan Lyles tonight. He's 3 for 3 in the game and a 1-out opposite field base hit this time.
Jose Martinez showing that he can do a little bit of everything. This pitch is a fastball away. Again, just hitting the ball where it's pitched. He's done that every single time up today. Being very disciplined with his swing, and he's 3 for 3.
1 out, 1 on, and Marcell Ozuna coming up. Ozuna singled in the 1st, popped out to first base in the 3rd, 1 for 2. Jumps on that first pitch and fouls it back. Did not get a fastball.
No, Jordan left that pitch up, and I'm sure it's not a mistake he wants to make again. A slider that just kind of spun up in the middle of the zone. Fortunately, Ozuna only fouls it off.
Relatively short lead at first base right now for Jose Martinez. Ozuna down 0-2.
Good located fastball right there. Big league level, when you go in on hitters, you either have to miss in off the plate or you have to hit your spot exactly, because missing by an inch could be the difference of swing and miss or home run.
Ozuna hits one high and deep to left field. And speaking of home runs, here's a 2-run shot beyond the bullpen in left field. 7th home run for Ozuna in a Cardinals uniform. And St. Louis jumps on top now 4-1. Their second 2-run shot of the night.
He's just too good right now the way he's swinging the bat to miss more than once in a bat. This looked like a slider that Rafi Lopez is wanting down, and sure enough, he leaves this over the middle part of the plate. More importantly, it's up for Ozuna. He fouled the first one off, first slider off he saw. This one he doesn't miss.
4-1, Cardinals have the lead now with 1 out still in the 5th inning. Ozuna's 7th home run, RBIs 33 and 34. That was an 0-2 pitch. Till the take 422 and ground ball by the dive. And Galvis is short into left. Second hit of the night for Yadier Molina.
The theme for Jordan Lyles today has been he's been getting ahead of guys. He's just having a hard time finishing them. Hangs a slider to Ozuna. This is a fastball. Middle. Just past the outstretched glove of Galvis.
So 1 out, Molina at first base, and brings up Jed Jerko. 0-for-2, put the ball in the air twice in tonight's game. Flying out to left, flying out to center. Grounded towards short. Galvis racing in. Will flip to second. No, he's going to tag second himself and then throw to first to complete the double play. Thought about flipping to Spangenberg. Didn't need to. 2-run shot for Ozuna. 4-1 St. Louis. inning. Time now for the Lowe's whole team together. And we're talking about the starting pitching for the Cardinals. It has been very good. Michaelis will see tomorrow with a 2.27 earned run average. But ERA-wise, they're in very good shape.
Yeah, Michaelis and Waka, Martinez, who just came off the DL not too long ago. We're seeing Flaherty today. We saw Weaver in San Diego. They're in top 3 in a lot of the major pitching categories. And for a team that was struggling to score runs early, kind of explains why they're still in this central race, because the pitching has been fantastic.
Mike Maddox, the pitching coach for the Cardinals, looking on and got to be happy with his staff. So is Mike Matheny. Ten in a row retired right now by Jack Flaherty. Jankowski 0 for 2 in this game. He's lined out to left and grounded out to first base.
Jankowski's been a big part of the Padres' success offensively since they've been playing better baseball.
Finding a way on and leading off every day. That average has been over 300 since being activated. Up over the mound, slowly towards second. Jerko racing in. Got to hurry with Jankowski, and they just get him. Very close. Bang bang play at first, but Jankowski appears to be out number 1.
It's a tough play for Jerko right there. You got to come in, have to pick it on a in-between hop, fires it over there. Was able to get to Speedy Jankowski by about a half a step.
No room for error for Jed Jerko right there. A nice play. Jankowski 0 for 3 in the ball game. 1 down here in the 6th inning. And here's Eric Hosmer getting his 3rd look at Jack Flaherty. Looks like they're coming in. Missing.
We saw this a little bit from the Marlins as well. And a lot of times the game plan doesn't change, the execution changes. And Flaherty today has been executing pretty well.
Falls behind this time 2-0 in a stretch in which he has retired 11 Padres in a row. Hosmer grounds one towards short. Jairo Munoz right around the bag at second, throws out Hosmer. Back-to-back ground ball outs for the first 2 outs of the 6th inning. And it's time now to answer our Valley View Casino trivia question. Question was, the Cardinals have 9,994 wins since joining the National League in 1892. How many MLB teams have reached 10,000 wins since 1892? And the answer: 3. The Giants, Dodgers, and Yankees.
Makes sense, considering who were the first teams around.
2 down here in the 6th inning. Renfroe will take a strike. Hunter batting in the 3 spot and quickly down 0-2. Close pitch, and Flaherty had taken a step towards the dugout. Thought he had him.
He thought incorrectly. It was about a ball and a half off the plate in.
Setting up way away and missing away.
Gaudier is one of the best in baseball of getting out on that outside corner and using his body to shield the umpire away from what they are actually seeing.
Swing and a miss, and Renfroe strikes out. That is 13 in a row retired by Flaherty. It's 4-1 Cardinals. would be Tony Gwynn Jr. right now. Here are the middle three from St. Louis. And you're right, the National League Central are going to be very exciting. And the Cardinals, I think, are right in the mix, too.
This is a tough division, the Central, this National League Central.
There's a pitch in there for a strike. Dexter Fowler leading it off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Like Matheny's club, only 3 games out.
Got the Brewers, Cubs, Cardinals. Pittsburgh's kind of come back down to life a little bit. They were in the hunt there for a while.
Yeah, they were in first place when the Padres were there and did very well against the Pirates. One of the better series of the year.
Just look at that Milwaukee team. They went out and made some acquisitions. They bring in Kane. They get Yelich from the Marlins. They look like they have some. This is after a really good season, surprising season last year where they were in it to the end.
Yeah, a little different this year. I think they're expected to do some things. Last year, not so much, and certainly surprised some people. There's a one hopper to Hosmer. He is going to race to the bag and get there ahead of Dexter Fowler. So one down here in the 6th inning. Let's check out what's going on around the majors. Storylines tonight. Mookie Betts activated from the 10-day DL in the strained left ab and back in the Red Sox lineup tonight. They're in Baltimore, and the Orioles removed from the 60-day DL. Zach Britton recovering from the right Achilles surgery. Adrian Gonzalez, the former Padre, released by the New York Mets after a Mets win last night against the Yankees at home. Sitting at .237 in 54 games this season, had 6 home runs, but Adrian released by the Mets.
You wonder if he's going to get another shot somewhere else down the line. You figure he will, but you never know. This game is going really young, and Adrian 36 years of age, so we'll see. Hopefully he can find another landing spot.
Jairo Munoz is down 0-2, facing Lyles for the 3rd time.
Interesting to see how Mookie Betts comes back. I mean, he was on an MVP type tear. Sometimes injuries can kind of restart the whole thing again. Hopefully he picks up where he left off.
And Phil Hughes up in the pen right now for the Padres, and this one cranked foul down the right field line. Yeah, that's tough. He comes back off the DL. This Hughes comes back off the DL, and it's like kind of like spring training all over again, right? You lose your timing and the 10 to 15 days he was out.
It doesn't take long. I mean, 10 to 15 days is plenty to lose your rhythm and your timing. Some guys have the ability to get back in there and pick up where they left off, but it's not a lot of guys do it, you know.
You hear from a lot of guys that the All-Star break's tough. You come back and feel like it's been a week.
It's like you think your body wants to rest, but you feel terrible when you come back from the All-Star break. All the things, some things you didn't even know were hurting you, all of a sudden are hurting you after the All-Star break. It's like your body has a chance to catch up.
1-2 pitch. That's outside. That's funny how many times you hear from guys at the end of seasons where season's over and now they finally got through it, and you're like, now everything hurts. Everything, like everything's wrong.
I think that's everybody who plays at the big league level for sure.
Fouled off to the right out of play. It's like it all catches up with you when you stop.
It's like the body just goes into like autopilot, and then when it has a chance to actually rest, it's like something happens where the body wakes up and it's like your ankles hurt. You didn't even know your ankle hurt. Your thighs hurt and your fingers hurt all of a sudden. I've been swinging the bat all year. Why are my fingers hurting now?
On the ground and by the dive of Galvis. Got a piece of it to slow it down. And it's a base hit from Munoz, who kind of faked like he was going to go. Grabbed the attention of Renfroe, fires into second base, but it's a one-out base hit for Munoz, and he's 2 for 3 in the ballgame now.
Slider, that's not a bad pitch. Maybe just a little bit, catches a little bit too much play. Galvis just couldn't get his glove on it. They have their leadoff runner on.
Brings up the pitcher, Flaherty. Flaherty with a sacrifice bunt in the 2nd inning. Single, reached third on the miscue in right field by Reyes. And he squared a bunt, fouls it off. That one was running up on him on fastball at 90 miles an hour coming in. Did you bunt?
Did I bunt?
Could you bunt?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Really good bunter?
I better learn how to bunt when I was playing. That might be my only shot.
I mean, it looks really hard.
It is hard.
I mean,
this is harder than bunting for a hit.
Yeah. Runner goes, and the throw down to second base doesn't slide, but he's still safe. Freddie Galvis thinks he got him. Munoz awkwardly went into second base, did not slide for whatever reason, and was called safe on the field. We'll see if the Padres are going to challenge.
That was just a weird play right there. Munoz gets a good jump, and if he slides, it's probably no contest as far as it being safe or out. Instead,
came off the bag, but no tag on him there, and no challenge here by the Padres as a result. It's a stolen base. He's on the base when he's tagged. So stolen base for Munoz.
That's one of the things the Padre infielders could do a little bit better of a job, especially with replay. There's no harm in just keeping the tag on there as long as possible.
It's amazing how many times guys come off. There's one on the ground. Galvis going to third. They got hung up. Munoz between second and third. And now running it back via Nueva, and they will tag him out. Taking second was Flaherty. So it's going to be his base anyway, but Munoz getting up here wincing and maybe in some pain here.
Oh. Munoz is in all kinds of base running, making all kinds of base running gaps a little bit. Oh, it looked like Villa kind of rolls up on his leg there.
Yeah, that's where it appeared he got hurt.
That's what you lose. Yeah, he took a little bit of a beating in that sequence right there.
So 2 down, and Flaherty ends up at second base on the fielder's choice with 2 away, and the top of the order, Matt Carpenter now.
Generally, with the runner on second, as the runner on second, anything hit to your left, it's okay to try to go to third, but because Galvi was so close to him and that ball was hit so hard, that rule didn't necessarily apply right there. That's why it's always important to know where your shortstop is or your second baseman is when you are the runner on second.
Cheating in me on Flaherty right now is Galvis, who's kind of hanging around second base. They're in a shift, and this one's on the ground. Guarding the line was Hosmer, and he'll take it to the bag for the out that ends the inning. We've played 6. Cardinals have a 4-1 lead. course, Spangenberg with a home run got the Padres on the board in the second inning. His 6th home run of the year was 1-0 San Diego, but back came the Cardinals. Jose Martinez with his 10th home run of the year put St. Louis on top 2-1. This one goes to right center field. Then in the 5th inning, after Jose Martinez had singled, Marcell Ozuna with his 7th home run of the year gives the Cardinals their second 2-run home run of the game and a 4-1 advantage for St. Louis. They carry here into the 7th inning. Jordan Lyles gone the first 6, giving up 10 hits, 4 earned runs. Jack Flaherty, 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched. He hasn't walked anybody and struck out 6. The home run for Spangenberg, and Martinez having a big night, 3 for 3 as we head into the 7th inning here back in St. Louis as the Padres trail by 3. And Mark Grant back with us. We thank Tony Gwynn Jr. for joining us in the middle innings, and right now Jack Flaherty pitching very well and keeping the Padres at bay.
You know, I really like Jack Flaherty. Like the Padres pitching staff. You know, they draft a lot of big, tall right-handers, and it seems like the Cardinals the last 10, 15 years have done the same. You think of guys like Carpenter and Waka and through the course of time that have led them to the postseason. And this kid, he's 22 years old, but he's got a pretty good idea out there how to pitch. He looks like he's been pitching in the league for like 5 years.
You're very comfortable.
Very comfortable, not scared off, not afraid to throw strikes, pound the zone. I love his delivery, and I think their Cardinals got themselves a good one.
He's taken his time when he's run the bases, when he's gone back out there again.
Yeah.
Now, 3rd time through, his numbers have not been spectacular. 323 3rd time through. He is about to go his 3rd time through here.
I thought that inning after he went to 3rd base after Franmil Reyes went to, I thought the legs were going to be a little heavy.
Yeah.
A little sandbaggish, right? But
at a 1-2-3 inning, and he's now retired 13 in a row.
Kid must be in pretty good shape.
This time he had to run to 2nd base on the fielder's choice.
Great base running by the pitcher, right? He saw the rundown. You take that base, and it was a great job by the Cardinal pitcher.
Franmil Reyes going to lead it off. Some Franmil fans and Padres fans. First pitch missing. 4-1 to Franmil Reyes, who has struck out tonight and flied out to right. Almost fell down with that cut. 1-1.
You know, we've got a lot of Friar Faithful fans in attendance. A lot of people take baseball trips during the summer.
It's a good one.
Well, TP Dubs, there's some Friar Faithful there. Love it. His parents, Jim and Kathy, are here. Brothers John and James Wellman, enjoying Padre baseball here in St. Louis.
It's a good spot.
It sure is. Came out from Carlsbad.
One-two pitch to Reyes, and that's outside. 2-2. Still throwing hard, 95 miles an hour for Flaherty.
And you know what I look at in these conditions, Don? It's hot, it's humid, right? This kid has maintained his velocity. Hasn't walked anybody. And bounced back nicely after the home run.
You like pitching in these conditions?
Loved it. Jesse and I were talking about that on radio. In civilian clothes, dislike it very much. But in a uniform, hot and humid, the more the better. I loved it. Stay loose, good feel for the baseball.
Reyes fouls it back. Another fastball, getting a healthy diet of still 2-2.
And did you see the location and velocity on that? 95 right on the outside corner.
Well placed.
Yep.
Not going to be able to do much with that, even if he gets to it.
It's tough to lay off, isn't it? That slider with 2 strikes.
Full count now.
But Franmil has done pretty well of letting some bad pitches go by.
Pops it up. Back comes the catcher, Yadier Molina. He's got a play, and he makes it for the first out of the 7th inning.
MLB At Bat is your #1 app to watch live Padres baseball. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Padres home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Longer read. Download MLB at bat today.
One out of the 7th inning. Corey Spangenberg homered in the 2nd, struck out looking in the 4th inning.
Did you like the paper snap of confidence?
I did. I liked that. I also enjoyed the commentary mid-promo. Your own editorial. At what point did you think the read was too long? About 2/3 of the way through? Was that where you dropped
right
it?
Before game of the day and pitch track.
Yeah. The 1-0 pitch coming up here to Spangenberg.
You know, my good friend in San Diego, Dave Rickards, he's a radio DJ, been for many, many years. And I learned the PSOC, paper snap of confidence.
Oh.
After a read,
Wow. I know I hear it in my headsets. I don't always see it.
Yeah.
And now the fans at home can now figure out what that is.
You're confident after a read and show it by snapping the paper.
So you nailed it. And then
the PSOC.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry about it.
Spangenberg now Villanueva next. And that's ball 4. 4-pitch walk here for Spangenberg. That breaks up a string of 14 in a row retired by Jack Flaherty.
And you know, the big key, you know, the Padres running out of outs, but still try to get into that bullpen, because we talked about that's the kryptonite. That's the Achilles heel for this Padres, or for this Cardinal bullpen. An ERA of 4.50.
John Brebbia up in the pen right now for St. Louis.
They are 13th in the National League with that ERA.
Molina going out here to talk to Flaherty with Villanueva coming up.
Yeah, stalling for some time. It's 98 pitches for Flaherty.
And here comes Matheny. So John Brebbia, who has been warming in the pen, looks like he'll be coming into this game with 1 out and 1 on. Flaherty had gone 6 1/3 innings and had just retired 14 in a row before walking Spangenberg, and he will now leave the game. So pitching change from St. Louis. Cardinals fans will let him know what they think of him.
By sharing a photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Well, Jack Flaherty pretty impressive tonight. Our first look at him.
Very nice. Is Mike Maddox, the pitching coach. He's got a good reputation going over his outing right there. He's got plenty of breathing room for his teammates coming out of the bullpen. I was impressed with his velocity, with his location, his breaking ball, his presence on the mound. They've got a good young right-hander.
John Brebbia into the game for his 17th appearance of the year for the Cardinals.
This kid has been used all over the map for Mike Matheny out of the bullpen. Early, late, his 17th game. And you look at the control, he throws strikes, 22 strikeouts, more strikeouts than innings, but only 5 walks.
Christian Villanueva batting with Spangenberg at first base, and that one drops in for strike one. Villanueva tonight has single to left and popped out to short, 1 for 2.
Well, this is where you know, base runners are great, but to put a charge into one and have a home run late to get within one. You know, it's great stringing together a single here, maybe a walk, extra base hit. But popping one late to put you within one, those are big home runs. Those are pressure type home runs.
As you mentioned, getting into this bullpen, a big thing for the Padres. Now they've gotten rid of the starter.
Yeah, not good for the St. Louis bullpen. Ranked 13th in the National League, 4.50 ERA collectively.
Saw the starters' numbers earlier, and as a group, very, very good. Bullpen, much different. That's part of the problem with the Cardinals has been this pen. And Bud Norris has not pitched since Friday. He's got a 9 ERA in the last 7 appearances. He's still the club's closer, according to Mike Matheny, but not been good.
Well, they've got a kid by the name of Hicks, last name Hicks, that throws over 100 miles an hour. Jordan Hicks, and they're trying to really monitor his usage. But here's that comparison, Don. Starters and relievers for the Cardinals.
Wow.
Slugging percentage, the whip, almost 1.5 runners for the relievers. And granted, Brebbia, over the short time, like for instance, he hasn't allowed a run over his last 6 outings. It's over 5 2/3 innings pitched, so that's pretty good.
Austin Gomer up in the pen right now. More action for the Cardinals. While Brebbia first from the pen. Works with a 1-2 pitch to Christian Villanueva. 2-2. Flaherty responsible for Corey Spangenberg, who's at first base. His last batter he faced, he walked Spangenberg.
You know, another thing that's the problem with the Cardinals bullpen is the injuries. Holland, Gregerson, Bowman, Sheriff, all out. I mean, those guys are integral parts of that bullpen. Holland, of course, Luke Gregerson, veteran.
From the Padre.
Yep. We saw Sheriff a little bit last year.
Norris really struggled. Interesting to see this one gets a little closer. Him work again.
Another former Padre, Luke Gregerson, Norris. I think that's it.
Popped up. Molina coming back in foul ground, discards the mask and will not have a play behind the screen.
Well, did he have a hanger? Let's check it out. Oh, outer half kind of pulling off a little bit, barrel working underneath it. You can see that he was kind of frustrated just on the other side of the screen behind home plate.
So another chance here for Christian Villanueva with 1 out and 1 on. Flaherty looking on, responsible for the runner at first. And that is ball 4. Villanueva down to first base. Back-to-back walks allowed here by Cardinals pitching. And all of a sudden now the Padres have the tying runner coming to the plate in Freddie Galvis. With 1 out here in the 7th inning. Freddie did not have any success against Jack Flaherty in tonight's game, but he's not alone in that category. 0 for 2, flied out twice to Marcell Ozuna in left field. Brebbia has been a guy that Matheny will use for multiple innings. 4 times he's gone 2 or more innings for Matheny.
Yep. And he's been all over the map. He's been using the 7th, 8th, 6th, 9th, 8th, again, 10th. 8th innings, last 7 outings. And you know what, Don, when you look at his opponent's batting average, only hitting 222, it seems like he wants him in high leverage situations. And that seems to be the situation here after Flaherty got taken out.
He lifting his starter, 98 pitches deep into his outing, Jack Flaherty. Spangenberg at second, being away at first, 1 down. Two and one. Brebbia having trouble throwing strikes. Flaherty went 6 1/3, allowing only 3 hits. 1 run, the home run, his only blemish. Corey Spangenberg back in the 2nd inning. 2-2. Right on that outside corner. Rafi Lopez waiting on deck. Outfield pretty much straight away here on Galvis. All 3, full count. Flaherty walked Spangenberg before he left. Brebbia's first batter was Villanueva. He walked him, and now he's gone full on Freddie Galvis. Outside, ball 4. And that will load the bases here for the Padres. 3 straight walks. We'll see if the Padres can take advantage of this situation. Looks like Mike Maddox is headed out, the pitching coach. A golden opportunity this is. Some wildness here displayed by Cardinals pitching. 3 straight walks with 1 out of the inning. You got Rafi Lopez coming up after the meeting at the mound.
Whenever I think of Mike Maddox, I think of hand on the shoulder and the other hand over your mouth so you can't read his lips. And then the pat on the chest.
I think about him sitting in my seat on the bus. In the minor leagues, yeah. He came down he came down on a rehab to Pawtucket.
Right.
And he got on the bus for the trip, and he was pitching at the time in the big leagues.
Former Padre, by the way.
And he got on the bus that morning, put all his stuff in my seat, and I got on the bus and my seat was taken by somebody. I didn't know who it was.
You should have said
it was Mike Maddox.
You should have got on the bus and said, "This is Don's."
So I took his bag,
right,
and I put it in the overhead because I wasn't sure who it was. I'm like, who is this?
And
so he gets on the bus. He goes, "Where's my bag?" I go, "It's up there, in the overhead." He's like, "Oh, really?" And I go, "Yeah." That was a long time ago, but yeah, that's what I think of. Rafi Lopez with a swing and a miss for strike 1.
Well, bottom of the order for the Padres, and I tell you what, a breaking ball over the heart of the plate. Rafi Lopez can turn on one. Even an extra base hit here, a single. Padres have got to strike here in the 7th.
There's a strike, and it's strike 2. Rafi Lopez didn't like it. Looked like a pretty good pitch, though, right at the bottom of the zone.
Absolutely. Breaking ball, legitimate strike. Right down the heart.
Bases filled with Padres. 1 down here in the 7th inning. Fastball has been wild from Brebbia. Breaking ball he's been able to throw for strikes, not the fastball, though.
Let's see if that was a show me. Since we are in Missouri, that is a show me fastball and then goes back to that breaking ball.
Runs the fastball away and evens the count here at 2-2. Golden opportunity for the Padres. 3 straight walks with 1 out in the 7th inning. Trailing by 3 right now. They get Spangenberg at 3rd, Villanueva at 2nd, and Galvis at 1st with 1 out in the visiting half of the 7th. Lopez strikes out on a pitch down and in. And yep, you're right. Went to the breaking ball to finish him off. 2 down.
Well, you talk about a big pitch and a big situation. Okay, the pressure is on Brebbia. He starts him off with that breaking ball down and in, right? Then he goes to the fastball, trying to have Rafi fish down and away, and then finishes him off the way he started with that breaking ball. As you mentioned, Don, you're right. He's got a lot of confidence in that breaking ball.
Barella going to pinch it here in the pitcher spot with 2 down. Bases loaded for Perella. Been on the bench until now, into his 67th game of the year. 276 average for Perella. And a foul backing out of play for strike 1.
Tell you what, now would be the time for his first home run.
Perfect.
In fact, you know what? I'm calling it. I'm going to go out on a limb and call it. Why not?
Career with the bases loaded, a 250 hitter. Does not have a grand slam on his resume. 1 for 4 this year, though, in this spot with an RBI. Look out. And Perella jumping back out of the way of that fastball running up and in.
Got to take one for the team. Kidding. Kidding. Fastball up and in. Bases filled with Padres. 2 down here in the 7th. 1-1 coming here to Perella. Swing and a miss. Ooh. And the fastball that time he throws for a strike right down the middle. Yeah.
1-2.
That was the home run swing on a pitch. Middle, just a little bit middle in at 94. Okay, now you got to shorten up. Think big part of the field. Left center, right center. At first base, Martinez is way off the bag. He could shoot something in between the bag and Martinez.
Perella may have gone. He did. He strikes out. Padres will leave him loaded. Back-to-back Ks for Brebbia, who gets out of the major jam in the 7th. It's 7th inning stretch with the Cardinals on top 4-1. Huge couple of strikeouts for John Brebbia, the reliever for the Cardinals. presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by RCP Block and Brick. Start your outdoor project at rcpblock.com. Cardinals on two-run home runs enjoy a 4-1 lead. As coming into the game here is Phil Hughes for the Padres after 6 innings from Jordan Lyles. Hughes deals with strike one to Tommy Pham, who leads it off here for the Cardinals, and Phil Hughes appearing in his 13th game of the year between the Twins and the Padres.
One thing in mind and one thing only is that to hold the Cardinals at 4 for Phil Hughes. He's got a tough part of the order.
Pham hits it on the ground right to Galvis at shortstop for the first out here at the bottom of the 7th inning.
A few days ago for Phil on the hill at Miami, an inning, 2 walks and a strikeout. Boy, left-handers this season only hit 172, but righties, wow, 385.
Had a couple starts for the Twins earlier in the year. One down here in the 7th for Jose Martinez, who had a big night against Jordan Lyles. Faced him 3 times, had 3 hits, and now he drives this one out towards right center field. Reyes, the right fielder, coming in for out number 2.
You know, I look at that last pitch, a couple of things. Phil Hughes goes from the first base side of that pitcher's plate. See where his foot is? His drive foot? And look at, he gets a straight angle. If you drew a line from that first base side to the outside corner, it's almost like throwing right down the middle for him. He hits his spot. He's way out in front of it. Easy fly ball to right. Maybe that's one of the things Darren Ballsy's working on him, moving him on the rubber a little bit towards that first base side. Doing something little like that can do wonders for a guy.
2 down for Marcell Ozuna. 2 for 3 in the game, including a 2-run home run his last time up.
I'll have to ask Phil. Maybe he did that with the Twins. You know, maybe he's doing that all along with the Yankees when he first came up. But it gives him that direct line, easier to get to that part of the plate when you're on that side of the rubber. There's big balls. Darren Balsley, best in the business. You know, you should do sometime, go out to a bullpen when he's with one of his guys.
That's a strike, and it's 2-2.
Just to experience.
I've watched him
work with his guys.
Bullpen.
Yeah.
To Ozuna with Molina waiting on deck. And a swing and a miss. Nice job by Phil Hughes. As a 1-2-3 7th inning. It's 4-1 Cardinals. To the 8th we go. for now anyway, as Austin Gomer is in the game for the Cardinals. Third arm used.
Two left-handers out of the bullpen for Mike Matheny, Brett Cecil and Austin Gomer.
Some changes for the Cardinals as well. Jed Jerko is now at third base for the Cardinals. Carpenter moves to first base. Did he go? No. They check the third base umpire, Ed Hickox.
I want to correct myself, Don. It's Gomber. I stand corrected.
Takes over for John Brebbia, who worked the 7th inning. Walked 2, struck out 2. Colt Wong is now in at second base too, as part of the new defense here for St. Louis. There's Wong at second base, with Carpenter moving from third to first and Jed Jerko going from second to third. Gomber deals, and that pitch will be a strike over the inside corner. Travis Jankowski, 0 for 3 in the game. He's lined out, grounded out twice. Lines one down the left field line. That'll be a fair ball. Jumps up into the seats, and that'll be a double for Travis Jankowski to begin things here in the 8th inning. Good start to the 8th.
Going with the pitch, lefty on lefty. Well, that pitch is down the middle. Hands first, barrel to follow, and a rule book double.
So Jankowski at second, and it brings up Eric Hosmer. Padres had a terrific opportunity in the 7th inning with the bases loaded after 3 walks, but Lopez struck out and Jose Pirela, pinch hitting, struck out, so the Padres stranded 3 in the 7th. Hosmer batting 0 for 3 in the game. And grounds one back towards the mound. Gomber will go to first base, throws high, but up there to grab it as Carpenter comes down on the bag. Doesn't have the same kind of height that Martinez has over there, but made the play for out number 1.
The 2018 FIFA World Cup is coming to Fox and FS1 with every match live and over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event is just 3 days away, only on Fox and FS1. 3 days away. Stay tuned.
Mike Matheny out to make a pitching change with 1 down here in the 8th inning. You got Hunter Renfroe coming up and a new pitcher coming in for the Cardinals. St. Louis on top 4-1. Eighth inning with 1 out. Travis Jankowski at second base, and for Hunter Renfroe had a chance to get in the box. Sam Tuilalalala comes into the game here for St. Louis.
19th game. Not bad numbers. Lefties, though, 344. And when you look at them collectively for the right-hander, 284 off Tuivailala.
Saw Tuivailala pitch in San Diego against the Padres in the first series of the year between the Cardinals and Padres in mid-May. Renfroe's 0 for 3 in the ballgame. And takes strike one at 95 miles an hour. Now he has fly to right and struck out twice.
Well, you didn't get the call there. Did you see the way Molina was set up and then he had to reach across? That's a legitimate strike.
I feel pretty much straight away here on Renfroe. This will get away, and Jankowski will take third base. Ricochet pretty quickly back to Molina, but Jankowski taking third with one down. Tuivailala working on the landing spot, and that one really thrown ways away from Molina. Wild pitch.
Yeah, he was set up inside. And when a pitcher yanks a ball like that, that's very tough for any catcher to really get a glove on and catch cleanly.
So Jankowski 90 feet away with one down in the inning. Renfroe, the big cut there, and it's 2-2. On the ground, softly hit left side. It'll be Jerko, cuts it off. Throw to first is in time, and a run will score as Jankowski comes in from third. And it's now 4-2 Cardinals, with the Padres getting a run. As thrown out is Renfroe, and a nice play by Jerko cutting across. Renfroe will pick up an RBI, and Padres pick up their second run.
16th RBI this year for Hunter, and avoiding the strikeout, just putting the ball in play. Little infield chopper will get the job done, cutting the Cardinal lead in half.
So 2 down, bases empty, and brings up Franmil Reyes. Reyes struck out in the second, flied out to right in the fourth, fouled out to the catcher in the seventh. Wild swing and a miss for strike one. Franmil is charged with an error in right field defensively. Down 0-2. Tuivailala with that 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
That's a big strike zone, and Tuivailala is going up the ladder big time on Reyes. See if he goes sweeper down and away here.
Fouls it off over by the Padres dugout. Stays alive here, 0-2. Action in the Padres pen. Craig Stammen warming in the pen. Jordan Lyles goes the first 6 innings. Phil Hughes worked an inning. He's asked for time, backs out, now climbs back in again. Oh, 2. Did he go? Yes, he did, and he strikes out for the second time tonight. Reyes down by way of the K. Padres do get a run. It's 4-2 Cardinals to the bottom of the 8th. Two Cardinals have the lead. Cardinals coming to bat here. It'll be Yadier Molina who leads it off in the last of the 8th inning. Phil Hughes, who enjoyed a 1-2-3 7th inning, back out there for the 8th. Saw Craig Stammen warming in the pen for the Padres, but it is Hughes who is back out there again. Molina with a 2-hit night. Infield hit to short in the first. A single to left in the 5th, wrapped around a ground out to third base. Shoots one foul and evens the count here at 1-1. Hughes handled 2, 3, and 4 in the 7th inning, getting Pham, Martinez, and Ozuna.
No, that's an 89-mile-an-hour fastball two-seamer that can still be effective to a right-handed hitter if you get it in the right spot. He'll get in the kitchen.
Popped up foul off to the right out of play. Tonight's attendance 40,971. 49-7-1 for game 1 of this 3-game series between the Padres and the Cardinals. Only visit of the year here for San Diego. 2-2 pitch, and that's outside for ball 3. Jordan Lyles went the first 6 innings, giving up 11 hits and 4 runs. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 2, and he is on the hook. Came in individually at 2-2 into his 7th start. To center, Jankowski started back, now comes in, had time to recover, and makes the catch for out number 1 of the 8th inning. Let's revisit our keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
You ask and you shall receive. Game 1, keys were clip the kid's wings. Well, Flaherty, he was impressive. 6 1/3, only 3 hits, 1 earned run. He struck out 6. And we were hoping that Jordan Lyles could copy what Clayton Richard did. It wasn't the case. As Don just mentioned, 6 innings, 11 hits, 4 runs for the right-hander.
Jed Jerko started this game for the Cardinals at second base. Since then has moved over to third base, and last time up grounded into a double play, nicely turned by Freddie Galvis. asking Hughes to go multiple innings here. Of course, tomorrow another bullpen game for the Padres, so they need the relievers. And they need Hughes here to go a little while if he can.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was important for Lyles to only gave up those 4 runs, but in this weather and that pitch count, I think that definitely helps the bullpen.
Mentioned Stammen had been warming up last inning. Nobody now, as that pitch just missed. In the air to deep left field. Renfroe going back, and that ball is going to carry out of here into the bullpen. Jed Jerko hits his 5th home run of the year. And the Cardinals add on to their lead. It's 5-2 St. Louis. Jerko continues to hit Padres pitching.
We talked about it earlier. We showed you the numbers. And there's a case of the Padre pitchers just not executing pitches. Watch where the glove is and look where it ends up. Right down the heart of the plate at the belt buckle. Didn't get the pitch out where he wanted it.
That's the 3rd home run tonight for St. Louis. Back on top by 3, 5-2. And Dexter Fowler now batting. Fowler takes the strike, and it's 0-2. 5th of the season for Jerko. Hit it on a 2-2 count. Into the bullpen. 399 feet away. Hughes wanted that one. Thought he had strike 3 instead. Now it's 1-2.
Well, he got the call prior to that. It was way out of the zone low. So I think that evens that out. Nothing wrong with moving the hitter's feet a little bit. Let's see if he just blocked the outside part of the plate on this next pitch.
That's strike 3, and Fowler is frozen. That was a close pitch, too. Second strikeout for Hughes, 2 down.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced, retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
2 outs in the 8th inning, and it brings up Jairo Munoz. Munoz has 2 hits in the game, both singles, and also fly to right. Cardinals have banged out 12 hits, out hitting the Padres 12-4. As they bat here with 2 down in the 8th inning. Looking ahead to the top of the 9th inning, and the deficit will be at least 3 runs. It'll be Spangenberg, Villanueva, and Galvis expected. Morris, the closer, getting ready in the pen. Talked about his troubles earlier. It's not been pretty lately. He's not pitched since Friday. He's had a 9 earned run average in his last 7 appearances. He's down to 3rd. Villanueva's throw. He had plenty of time to retire Munoz. And to end the inning, Cardinals had a run on the home run by Jed Jerko. 5-2 St. Louis. So tonight was Jack Flaherty in 6 1/3 innings, giving up just the 1 run. Struck out 6 along the way, and the pitcher of record right now for the Cardinals.
He was in complete control. He gave up the solo shot off the bat of Corey Spangenberg in the 2nd inning. And at one point, retired 10 in a row and just cruised all along. Didn't seem to get rattled. 22 years old. He's got a bright future in the Redbird uniform, that's for sure.
So it's on to the 9th inning, and Corey Spangenberg going to lead it off.
Oh, check that. 14 in a row.
Bud Norris, 12 out of 14 in save opportunities, a 3.49 earned run average. 40 strikeouts to 4 walks. That's good.
Absolutely. And one thing, you know, you mentioned the numbers before for Norris. In a situation like this, it's trying to close out the game. If the Padres can some way, shape, or form get another reliever up in that bullpen and get Norris out of there, it means that they're threatening and getting some runners on and bring that tying run up to the plate.
Spangenberg with a home run back in the 2nd inning. Solo shot, his 6th of the year. Struck out in the 4th, walked in the 7th inning. That one off himself.
The inside of the right knee. Ooh. Wow.
1-1 pitch coming up here to Spangenberg. And a bloop down the left field line that's going to fall foul. Down on the count, 1-2. Norris, look at his last 3 outings, gave him 4 hits at Cincinnati. 2 earned runs. That's the last time he pitched. Head of Spangenberg, 1-2. Villanueva waiting on deck. Two and two. Full count now. Padres need base runners. Spangenberg trying to work his way on here. Villanueva and Galvis to follow here in the 9th inning. There's Christian waiting on deck. Galvis in the hole right now. Payoff pitch to Spangenberg. And on the ground, and it's Wong in short right, who spins and fires to first base for the out. Nice play by Colton Wong. Came in defensively an inning ago and makes a nice play for the first out of the 9th inning.
That ball was hit sharply, very sharply, to his left. Good read. At least, you know, you catch that ball, but the worst case scenario for a second baseman is to knock that ball down and keep it in front of you. Still plenty of time to get the speedy Spangenberg. It's almost as if, did you see that before that pitch was thrown? Wong was actually kind of going over to his left.
Kind of cheating in that direction,
Yeah.
certainly helped.
Yeah.
One out for Christian Villanueva. He's been aboard twice in this game. Single back in the 2nd, a walk in the 7th. Wrapped around a popped out to short. Norris with 12 saves on the year. This is a save situation with 1 down in the 9th. Look out, and Villanueva gets hit. 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Wanted to bury it in, just got away from him. He's wearing that protective gear on his left elbow. Still, though, that's got to hurt.
One out, one on, brings up Freddie Galvis. Freddie has fly to left, line to left, and walked in the game. Cardinals a double play depth now with one down. And this one flared foul off to the left out of play. Five runs, 12 hits, no errors for St. Louis. 2 runs, 4 hits, and an error for San Diego. Padres actually had the lead in this game at one point, on top 1-0 after Corey Spangenberg had homered back in the second inning. Carpenter holding on. Villanueva at first base. Very short lead for Villanueva. Galvis slaps it foul, and it's 1-2.
Good hack by Freddie. Let's see if Norris, if he goes to the breaking ball, if he elects to go to the breaking ball, you got to have a good secondary lead at first base. If that ball is in the dirt, you got to take that 90 feet. Or will he challenge him with a high fastball?
Two and two. 12 pitchers for Norris since coming into the game. Has one out with Villanueva at first base. Hit Villanueva after he got Spangenberg to ground out to begin the inning. Nice defensive play from Colton Wong, the Cardinals' second baseman. 2-2 pitch. In the air down the left field line. Over goes Ozuna, but no play, and into the seats, foul. It's grabbed down there by a fan with a glove.
Great catch. That's a sweet nest. Moss on that kid.
Two to Galvis. And a grounder foul over by the Cardinals dugout. They're housed on the first base side here at Busch Stadium. Rafi Lopez waiting on deck with one out in the ninth. Two pitch again, and Galvis will take ball 3. Pretty good patient at bats here for the Padres in the inning against Norris.
You know, I look at Norris, he's their closer, right? He's got 12 saves, but he doesn't have that one wow pitch, that one thing that makes you scratch your head and say, wow, you know, we've got our work cut out for us, right? He's got to rely on good pinpoint control.
Grounder towards first base. Carpenter will take it to the bag for out number 2 as Villanueva takes second base on the ground out, and the Padres are down to their last out. That'll bring up Rafi Lopez with 2 away and Villanueva at second. Raffy singled to right in the second inning, grounded out in the fifth, and struck out in the seventh. Strike one. 94 and just on the corner. Nueva at second base with 2 down in the ninth inning. Padres trailing 5-2. That is strike 2 and a high strike call there by Meals. Raffy letting him know that it's up. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled off by Lopez. Stays alive. Pitch of the inning coming up for Bud Norris. And Spansberg to ground out, hit Villanueva with a pitch. Galvis grounded out to first. Villanueva took second. So 2 down and a count of 0-2. To Raffy Lopez. Lopez strikes out. They'll have to throw him out, and Molina will to end the ball game. So a strikeout of Lopez ends this one as the Cardinals hold on and beat the Padres 5-2, the final in game 1 of the series. It's time now for Padres Live. Mike Pomerantz, what's in store?